Alright, so what we have here is I went ahead and recorded Bridge 1 on full speed, so let's go ahead and take a look at that, and then we'll break it down for you. Oops. Alright, so that's Bridge 1. It seems a little daunting at first, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the same bit on slowest, and then I'll break down exactly what I do. So I think seeing it, what I do on slow should help you guys out a little bit more. Alright, so this right here is on slowest, so I'm going to break down a couple things for you guys. This first part really isn't that bad. You can see it's pretty simple. Right here, coming up, you're going to notice that I down, up, and then I down strum the next 3 notes after. You can go ahead. Yep, just like that. And then right here, this part, a lot of people tend to overlook, but it's actually very, very easy to miss here. So what you're going to see me do, I'm going to strum the green red, then the red yellow, and then you're going to see me move up to 3rd position all the way through there. So go ahead and watch this. So right there, I went into 3rd position to hit those grace notes. Now on full speed, you saw how I timed that. You have to be pretty quick with it, but you need to make sure you time it as you're moving up. But move up to 3rd position, then back, and you'll see what I do here. Now, you'll notice that right now I'm still in 1st position. So when I slide back, I'm in 1st position. And I think that instead of shifting immediately into 2nd from there, I think it helps emphasize those 2 strums, because those strums are very tricky. So yeah, green, red, yellow, blue, and then I slide over. Now this next part leading into the trill, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move into 3rd position after the blue, yellow, red bit that you see there, and then I'll explain what I do next. Now, you'll notice right now I've moved into 4th position. So basically what I'm trying to do is set myself up for the trill. So I'm in 4th position now. I hit the blue, orange, blue, and then I strum that orange. So this is where we're going to get into the trill. What I do for the trill, and you're going to see it, is I strum that red, and then strum orange, and then I fret orange a total of 3 times, so including that strum. So 1, 2, 3, and then slide. So check this out. So you saw I immediately slid from there. So 1, 2, 3. I slide from the blue to the yellow with my index, and you can see I'm anchoring yellow with my index right now. So then you're going to want to tap 5 oranges and then slide. You're going to hit that yellow, and then you're going to do a zigzag, but sliding back into 1st, then into 2nd to finish out the zigzag. So check that out. Of course, if you need to slow this down even further to see what I've done, you can, but that's how you hit the trill. That's really all there is to it. So now I'll go ahead and let it play until we get to the ending, because I think the grace notes up here aren't nearly as hard as the first set. You can see I did the same thing there. Okay, so now we're pretty much at the Bridge 1 ending. So basically, you're going to see my arm has shifted kind of upward. The reason for it is I'm getting myself prepared for the ending. Now, I'm going to let this play just slightly further. Okay, right there you can see the full sequence. So I have red anchored, and what you basically want to do is you want to elbow strum that orange. You're going to hit orange with your middle, blue with your ring, and the pattern to it is pretty easy once you get it down. You're going to fret orange, blue, and then yellow, orange with your pinky and your middle on your fretting hand, and then you're going to tap orange, blue again with your tapping hand, and then you're going to hit yellow with your fretting hand and lift up. So the pattern repeats. So then you do the orange blue, and then orange yellow, orange blue, yellow. Red's going to be anchored the entire time. So go ahead and watch as I do this on slowest. Okay. Now the hardest part of that is getting that pattern down. It took me a good while to actually get that down. You're definitely going to want to start on slowest or slower just to get the movement down. Let me go ahead and shift back over to the webcam here. Okay, so basically that movement that I was talking about. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on and so forth. It's about at the speed that you're going to want to hit it. But the hardest part is going to be this motion. Because you want to do orange, yellow, yellow, orange, yellow, yellow. After a while, you'll get the movement. But yeah, that is, that's bridge 1. All there is to it. Next section, Climactic Buildup. Okay, so this is Climactic Buildup. Now this section of the ones that I'm showing you really, the snake might be considered easier at this point because the snake is a fairly basic pattern, albeit very fast. But this is a very tricky section. I'm going to show you at full speed, and then of course we'll break it down. So here's what it looks like at full speed. Okay, so the section itself doesn't look too bad, but I'm going to break it down for you on slowest exactly how I hit it, and trust me, for any of you guys that are having trouble with it or have never been able to hit it at least consistently, you're going to love my method. I'm about to show you that real soon. Alright, so here's Climactic on slowest, and I'm going to go ahead and, as I did with the previous section, I'm going to go ahead and explain how I hit it. Now the hard part, there's really only one tricky / hard part to this, so I'll go ahead and let it play until we get there. That part's really not that bad. Okay, so here's where things start to get tricky. So you have this little zigzag here. You want to make sure that you time this perfectly, and you want to make sure that when you finish the zigzag, you'll see here in a second that your ring finger is on blue, because it makes the transition from the ring finger to the chord that you can barely see easy-ish. Go ahead and show that real quick. Okay, so now you're going to see me slide on the chord, so you're going to, let me go ahead and switch over to my webcam, and then I'll switch back. So you want to make sure you do that motion, not the first one. You want to make sure you do that. And then you want to strum the last one lifting off of blue. So the last strum is an orange. It actually is an orange. You can see right there. Once I show it back, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the reason you want to do that is because of what I do right here. I'll go ahead and show you guys that real quick. Now right there, I don't know if you noticed or not what exactly I did, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. So basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, lift off, and then I'm going to have my middle finger on yellow. I'm going to kind of pivot it. So I'm going to have it on yellow, green, yellow, tap. You're anchoring yellow for a second, so it's already going to be on yellow, green, yellow, chord. So that's all there is to it. That's it. So go ahead and roll that back a little bit. Yeah, go ahead and let that play so you guys can see it one more time. that's all there is to Climactic. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next section, which for a lot of people is a doozy. What the? Alright, so here we have What the on full speed. Go ahead and let that play so you guys can get a feel for what I do. Right, so that's What the on full speed. Go ahead and take it over to slowest, break it down, and show you guys exactly what I do. Alright, so here is What the on slowest. I'll go ahead and try to break things down for you, and yeah. Alright, so one thing that I am going to tell you is that the transition into What the... mouse. Transition into What the is somewhat painful depending on what method you use for the Grace Notes and Herman's too. For me, I was actually in what I call 2.5 position. Let me show you that real quick. 2.5 position, for me, is where you're anchoring red, but your middle and ring are in third position. So normally third position is like this, but I am in this position. So with red here, my index on red. So I'm fretting the Grace Notes like this, the last four. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now from here, I have to go from here to, of course, here. So after I hit the Grace Notes, I'm immediately sort of doing this position. But I'm starting with red up here, so I can strum it, fret, and then go in. So we'll go ahead and show you that. So one thing to note here, I'll go ahead and let the trips play here real quick. So I'm sure you noticed, excuse me, need some water. Alright, so you'll notice that I tap the yellow, and I one-hand the trips. That's all there is to it to that section. You just have to make sure you're fast enough. So go ahead and head over here. So 1, tap, tap, 1, 1, or 1, 2, tap, tap, 1, 2. Now, here, usually I'll fret it, the first one like this, but then I'll move down and fret it like this. You can go ahead and see how I do that here. Now you'll notice that I fretted 2 descending trips, and then I alt-tap the next 2. So you have to do that pretty quickly. You have to hit that strum, fret quickly, get at least 1 in, and then alt-tap the rest, but you can get 2 in, and then alt-tap, either works. And you'll notice a lot of lag here. Barely hit the notes. My calibration is interesting. The rest of it's not that bad. Some of you guys can one-hand it. I prefer to tap that in because with an FC on the line, I actually did have an FC up to that point, and I tried to one-hand the end, and I missed. So tapping it for me works out wonderfully. So yeah, that's What the. Next, we'll go ahead and take a look at Twin. Alright, so this is Twin solo. Now, when I recorded this, I actually did it first try, which... I'm pretty consistent at Twin now. I was just kind of surprised to do it first try like this, so we'll go ahead and show you full speed. Okay, so that's Twin on full speed. Let's go ahead and break that down. Alright, so here will be Twin on slow, so I'll go ahead and break down a couple things. There's really 3 or 4 main things I want to show you in this section. The rest of it's fairly simple to figure out. So go ahead and play this here. This first part really isn't that bad. Want to hit that somewhat fast, and then slide to hit those. Now, this part coming up is somewhat tricky, which is why I tap it. Fret those, I tap the blue, anchor, tap, 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 and then I get into the strum. So, let me see if I can go back on the video slightly to show you guys that again. Yeah. I'm going to show you that one more time, because I know this can be tricky for some people. So I fret that, and then you're going to want to tap those, and then tap those, and then one hand the rest. So go ahead and get into the strumming, and then I'll show you the transition to hit the ascending trips. Now, this right here is one of the worst transitions I have ever had to deal with for any song I've ever attempted to FC. This transition is hard. From this green, you have to get into third position, regardless of how you do it. I mean, I'm sure you could go into second and then ascend, alt tap the yellow, blue, orange, but that's pretty ridiculous if you're actually able to pull that off. I one-hand the trips. That's the only way I could figure out to do it. So, let me go ahead and take that away. So basically, what I'm doing, that was a glare. That's why I don't wear my glasses now when I record videos when I'm talking to you guys, because there's a glare. So, you hit the strums, and then from that green, you immediately get over, hit this orange, and then one-hand it out. But of course, you have to go relatively fast. I have just enough speed that I can hit that. And then you're going to end on the blue to hit the strums, because if you tap it like I used to, hitting those strums after is really hard. At least I found that to be true. So head back on over. So you see I get on over real quick. So you hit those strums, no problem. Now, this next part is extraordinarily tricky for most people going for an FC. I've actually talked to a lot of people who say that they miss this place in twin more than any other. So I'll go ahead and show you where that is. Right here. You see that green strum there? Right there? That has been a pain for a lot of people. So what I do, and you'll see it in the video, I'll just go ahead and show you real quick. What I do is after I hit those strums, I'm in first position. I hold down the yellow-red, and then I treat it like ascending trips. So 1, 1, 1. So that way I've got green already anchored right here, and then I can hit the strum. So you'll see, you saw my full speed that I did that. I was over here, and like that. You lift up, and then the green strum is right there, and then you can slide, and then I'll get into how I hit the descending trips. Though, you'll be able to see pretty clearly how I hit it right here. Alt tap that, and then just tap. Now that tapping method... Oh, I need to put this back on. Excuse me. Let's go back slightly. Yeah, perfect. Right here. So that method is interesting, what I do there, but it works. It's amazing. It works. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you just have to make sure after that you fret the green, yellow, orange elbow strum. So, and it takes a little while to get used to that motion. Just make sure orange, blue, orange, blue, orange, blue, sort of like that. And that's really all there is to twin solo. So we'll go ahead and finish it off with the red snake. Alright, so here is So Far Away 3. This is a section that can be hard, but once you get it down, it's only hard because of nerves up to this point. So full speed, here we go. Okay. It's fairly basic, there's not much to it, but I'm going to go ahead and play it on slowest just so you guys can see kind of how the finger movements are. Actually, once you get that down, the next part after it's slightly trickier, but again, that doesn't seem to be a part that people who are close to FCing the song tend to have trouble with. So for this section, I'm just going to go over it, just breeze through it real quick. Go ahead and show you that real fast. Okay, so this is So Far Away 3 on slowest. Now, one thing I am going to tell you is once you get up to the tapping, you'll be able to hear it. Let me go ahead and switch over to this before I show you. So when you're tapping the sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the best way to do it is when you hear him sing, "We feel the pain. We feel the pain. 1, 2, 3. We feel the pain." I know my sing's terrible, but it actually helps you time it. We feel the pain. Feel the 1, 2, 3. So go ahead and show you that real quick. I'm just going to go ahead and let this one play through because this section is simplistic as far as the tapping. It's just really fast. Fun fact, So Far Away 3 was the only section I hit full speed and slowest first try both times. That's all there is to it. I will tell you guys real quick before I wrap things up that FC'ing most of these sections on the slower speed was much harder for me. I'm not really sure why, but I FC'd pretty much everything first or second try, full speed, no problem. But getting it on slowest was hard. But that's really all there is for this tutorial. I really do hope this does help some of you guys. Feel free to slow things down even further if you need. Pause where you need to. If there are any other sections you're having trouble with and would like me to make a follow-up tutorial on, just let me know. I'm more than happy, assuming I have the time, which I should, to make that for you. So that's about it. There's one more video I want to make. I'm going to get this one out first. Basically, it's going to be an extended tapping tutorial. It's going to be a little bit more in-depth than my first one, because my first one is not terrible, but there's a lot of technique stuff that I didn't explain in that video, which I think needs to be expanded upon. So with that said, hope this helps. You guys have a good one.